Following the devastating wildfires in Los Angeles, private fire companies have been a growing topic of conversation. I visited one in Roseville to see how they operate, and while they don't all operate the same, one business I spoke to says that they are growing.
It's not your usual fire station.
You hear all the dispatches going on.
But in this Roseville business complex, Capstone Fire and Safety Management, a private fire company, says business is growing.
There are more and more companies like us providing this service across the western U.S.
Capstone has a fleet of engines and trained firefighters on standby.
We do serve high-risk fire areas. In fact, that is probably at the higher end of what we do.
While there are companies that work directly with homeowners, Capstone Fire says they and many other private fire companies in California operate differently.
Where we provide wildland services, response services to insurance customers across the western United States.
Capstone says all the work that they do is through insurance companies, not with private homeowners.
Generally, you'll see in a homeowner's policy, it'll say that Company ABC, in our case Capstone, may arrive at your property during a wildland fire to provide you prevention or mitigation services.
Capstone's insurance division responded to 98 calls from May 2024 through December 2024. They point out they are not dispatched through the 911 system.
And once we arrive on scene, generally we touch base with the local authorities, fire authorities that are already there, and then we'll get to work.
And when you see their engines coming, you'll notice a difference.
A few years ago, an assembly bill was put into law that requires private contract fire agencies such as Capstone to follow a certain set of guidelines. Things like we don't respond with lights and siren. We do have the fire agency's radios, and we will make sure that we're on the same frequencies as them. We put non-emergency on the side of our vehicles. We want to make sure that we're not confused with the municipal or local, federal, state fire services.
Capstone says 90% of the work that they do is really focused on prevention efforts. When they're dispatched to a call, they really try to get with the homeowners if they're there to make sure that the embers don't spread from one house to another. So that could be something as simple as moving patio furniture or just making sure the gutters are clean.
Retired firefighters to those who are looking to get more experience, Capstone has a wide variety of responders on staff.
And we take all of the same courses that any wildland firefighter would have to get through to be an entry-level firefighter. We train all of our people to the standards of the National Wildland Firefighter Coordinating Group, NWCG.
The California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, also known as CAL FIRE, is the largest fire department in the state and known to have some of the best trained firefighters. When it comes to working with private fire companies, CAL FIRE says
the CAL FIRE welcomes the opportunity for firefighters, whether hired by insurance or private landowners, to protect homes and spaces. But I can tell you that private fire companies, as long as they're within the command structure and stay in clear communication with incidents, it can be a benefit.
So what does the future look like for private fire companies like Capstone?
The phrase that I heard at the LA fires of private fire companies being a force multiplier, if you look at that and say, well, how can that help down the road? I can see more companies deciding to get into this type of offering to their customers, and that will just help, I think, in the big picture, the fire service in general, provide a better service to the public. We work for companies all across the spectrum. We put ourselves in a position to do the best job for the most people.